All right, welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Madisonville Marine. New inventory is on the way to Highway 411 North in Madisonville. Stop by and visit the team to see what is in and what's coming in as boat companies are finally catching up after the COVID delays of the spring. Bob, you bought a boat at Madisonville Marine. Is it true there's no better place to buy a boat?
There is absolutely zero better place to buy a boat in America.
You had them retouch yours, tune it up, and it ran great?
It runs like it's brand new.
There you go. Madisonville Marine, not just the best place to buy, but the best place to get it serviced. Madisonville Marine. All right, let's go to the next graphic here. Let's take a look at Tennessee run direction. We'll make this one quick. You see the A gap left, A gap right. For those of you who don't follow football, we'll just talk about the gist of directions. But you can see if you're running between the tight end and left tackle, for example, we're talking C gap. And that tells you the number of carries followed by the yards there, the average yard per attempt at each of those spots, and then the touchdowns into each of those gaps. I didn't include quarterbacks sneaks. I didn't include jet sweeps and end arounds and that kind of stuff. But one thing, as we looked at this in-between segment, the thing that kind of stands out is you have great success in the D gap. And you've run 19 times to the left, 19 times to the right. You're averaging more than 5 yards a carry. Jimmy, I'll let you say what you said in the break there in terms of need more.
Tells me you need to get on the edge more, whether it's a sweep or running plays designed to go wide, because that's where you're having the most success. And I also do not think, and I like Eric Gray and Ty Chandler's running backs, I don't think they're great at running inside the tackles. They don't break a lot of tackles. They're not power backs. I think they are better on the perimeter where they have a chance to break tackles, make a first man miss, that type thing, or use their cutting ability. I think Tennessee needs to run more wide. Stats prove it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree with Jimmy. I think these numbers also reflect their issues at tackle, where Morris and Wright, as the Pro Football Focus numbers show, they're not playing well, and then also the issues at tight end. No Austin Pope, who was such a good blocker, he hadn't been able to participate this year. You were kind of shorthanded to begin with, and none of these guys have stood out. So that combination of those two have difficulty when, even with combination double team blocks, you're just not seeing the success there. And I agree with. And then in the middle, just kind of average overall, and the running backs are a part of that.
Well, and what speaks to this is I think most of us went into the season, you watched Eric Gray against Vanderbilt and Indiana, and you thought, oh, this guy could be a game changer at dynamic back. Same with Ty Chandler. You go back in time, he can run routes. He's pretty good. He's got speed. They only have 4 runs of 20 yards or more on the entire year, and they have none over 30. I would not have guessed that. You're halfway through the season, and you don't have a single run of over 30 yards, so they're not breaking tackles. They're not having success in the middle. Try and get them out on the edge more, it would seem. Let me start with you on this next graphic, Bob Hodge. Let's take a look at pass protection. What you see here, all right, is the players are listed in terms of the number of total pressures, sacks, quarterback hits, quarterback hurries, total pressures allowed. Right at the top, your 2 tackles, Darnell Wright, Wanye Morris. They've given up 16 between them. You see the column with penalties for each of these guys. You see how many times they've been called on the pass block. And then on the right is a column I made which just shows how often they allow pressure based on the dropbacks. Wright and Morris are giving up a pressure every 15, 16 dropbacks. Whereas your best guy in green down there is Trey Smith, 1 every 42. Okay, now he's not facing the best pass rusher like the tackles are, but still. And then you see there's a couple of hurries there and 1 sack that Jarrett Garantano ran himself into. But Eric Gray, pass protection once every 15, not great. That is where they dinged him. Chandler is looking better with 7. Tight ends, I'm sorry, looking worse with 7. Numbers should be low is what you're looking for, so red is bad. All right, Bob, your thoughts on what you're saying with pass protection?
When your best pass protector is a guard, that is a problem. And it's just exactly what you just said. Wright and Morris are out there. They're going to face the best of the best that the other team has. And if your best pass protector is a guard, okay, fine, fantastic. We're going to give you that. We're going to let you form a pocket up the middle, but we're going to come at you from the edge, and you're not going to be able to block it, so that pocket's going to break down very quickly. And I think that's a big problem. I mean, go back to what Jimmy said. They were hard hit in the preseason with the COVID. They're playing kind of dinged up. But at the same time, you have to, at some point, start showing that you are progressing. And by this point in time, preseason was a long way in the rearview mirror. You know, and I understand you played Georgia great defenses. Alabama's got good defensive players. Even Kentucky's got a nice defensive front. You know, but you also struggled a bit against South Carolina, and so I think that is your. I mean, that's a problem to the point you almost think can't you play anybody else?
Well, here's, and I've thought about this too. So would Tennessee be better off if Trey Smith and Cade Mays were playing tackle? I actually think Trey Smith and Cade Mays are better guards than they are tackles.
Right.
But would you be better off with them? And then if you do that, who are your guards going to be? Are you going to go with Carvin? Are you going to go with Calvert, who hasn't really played that much, right? So that's a possibility. But I've been disappointed in the pass protection among those tackles. I think it's obvious when you watch that they have trouble protecting on the perimeter, and then they're not getting much help from the running backs in terms of picking up people that are missed, that get by you on the Ole block. So this is a problem Tennessee's got to fix. And we were talking about the COVID situation. Jeremy Pruitt said Tennessee's gone at least 5 weeks without a positive, right? So you should be getting over the hump in terms of improving on the offensive line, in my opinion.
We got to catch a break, but I did want to say, Cade Mays moving him to tackle. When he has been at tackle, there were times I had the offensive lineman texting me in that Georgia game where he just got raced around saying he is slow. So I don't know that they have. I agree with you. It couldn't hurt to move him out there. It couldn't be worse by the numbers. I would like to see, and again, their numbers aren't gospel, but I would like to see their grades of him as a guard versus when he's a tackle.
Yeah.
Well, and then because of that, you got to help with the tight end, which changes your offense. You got to keep the tight end in to help block.
And those guys aren't great, or haven't been.
Right. Yeah, that's where you're missing Pope. All right, when we come back, let's take a look. We showed you the pass protection. Jarrett Garantano, a surprising number popped up that I'll show you in terms of where he has success, when he has success, and then his pass chart is exactly what you think it's going to be. Come on back.